everyone. So here I am starting the new topic of chapter number 4, and this topic is the last one. After that your chapter will finish. The last topic is about impact of globalization on agriculture. And you know that what is agriculture, that globalization is actually not a new concept to us, because whatever we exchange like trade, imports or exports or some valuable goods or some other commodities or the thoughts or ideas, etc., and the education also, so these all comes under the globalization. So it was actually there at the time of the colonization, and colonization was a time when Britishers ruled our India. In the 19th century, when the European traders came to India, Indian spices were exported to the world. So when the Britishers came to India, the Indian spices were exported to the world. And one more, that cotton was too popular at that time. In the ancient, also in the medieval time also, the cotton was exported to the Britain as a raw material. Then what happened by exporting our cotton raw material to the Britain? The cotton textile industry in the Manchester and Liverpool flourished due to the availability of good quality of cotton from India. Okay, so the industries which were located in the Manchester and the Liverpool, actually they were flourished in Britain. Now the Champaran movement, which was started in 1917 in Bihar, so this you will study in the history chapter number 3. And why this movement took place? Because farmers were forced to grow indigo. Indigo is actually the blue color. It acts like a little dye, so that is used on the white clothes, and actually it is used to color the clothes. Okay, so it is in the blue color. So it was necessary for the textile industry in Britain. So they were unable to grow food grains to sustain their families, because indigo required a lot of water, and so ultimately it was affecting the cultivation of rice. So under globalization after 1990, but actually the globalization started in India in 1990 after independence. So the farmers in India have been exposed to new challenges, because when the globalization was started in 1990, so there was a great challenge for Indian farmers also prior, and still we are exporting the rice, cotton, rubber, tea, coffee, jute and spices. So our agricultural products are not able to compete because of the highly subsidized agriculture in those countries. So there they are getting the subsidies, and they are also getting some benefits. So that's why their agriculture is more prosperous and more developed as compared to India. And what are those problems we have discussed in the earlier videos? Now what are the suggestions? If suppose there are the problems and Indian farmers are facing the challenges also, then what can we do? So here are some of the suggestions. These suggestions or these problems may be asked to you in examination. So from here the question may be asked of the 5 marks, because there are many, we are suggesting many methods. So you have to learn one by one. So what are the suggestions? So to make agriculture successful and profitable, proper thrust should be given to the improvement of the condition of marginal and small farmers, because marginal and small farmers are actually either not having the land, or they are having the less the fields, and their fields are actually not what they want for the large or extensive farming. So there is a problem for the marginal and small farmers, because basically they are not having the proper land, or if they are having land, then the land is also too small. Now this is a green revolution we have discussed earlier in the video. The green revolution was started in 1960s and between 1970. So when it was introduced, there was a boost in the production of the wheat and rice. But now aftermath effects are actually very critical, because now the land is turning into the barren land because of the highly because we are using the fertilizers, pesticides and insecticides on the large scale, and even the irrigation is also done on the large scale. So that's why now the land is degrading. So it has caused the land degradation due to overuse of chemicals, drying aquifers, because they are using more and more underground water. That's why the aquifers are now drying, the vanishing of the biodiversity. And what is the most important, it may be asked to you in this statement. The key word today is gene revolution. It is very important. It includes genetic engineering. Now what is gene revolution? Genetic engineering is recognized as a powerful supplement in inventing new hybrid variety of seeds. So you have heard about the HYVs and high yielding variety seeds. So on the small, though the land is the small, that is not as much as big, but by the use of the HYV seeds we can increase the production. So now next is, so this one is the first one, this one is the first, and this is the second. Okay, now this is the third one, organic farming. Now what is organic farming? As we have discussed in this topic that the land is degrading. So how to protect that land? We should promote organic farming, and it is practiced without factory made chemicals. Means the chemicals are not used, actually they are natural fertilizers, just as cow dung or the decomposed organic materials. So it does not affect the environment in a negative manner, so it has no negative effects. So now what is, because the population is more, it is earlier discussed that more than 60% of population is dependent upon the agriculture, and land is also not consolidated, and land is actually divided into many parts. So an average of less than half a hectare per person is available. So this is the small unit. So that's why actually Indian agriculture is not progressing. Next, Indian farmers should diversify the cropping pattern from cereals to high value crops. Means instead of growing the cereals, the farmer should be promoted to grow high value crops. Now the high value crops like fruits, medicinal herbs, flowers, vegetables, biodiesel crops like jatropha, jojoba, etc. can be cultivated, and they need much less irrigation. So when these crops will be grown, they will increase the income and reduce the environmental degradation, and to grow a wide range of high value crops. So these are some of the solutions which we can apply in the agriculture to promote and to develop them. So up to here this chapter is complete. Now in the next video the new chapter will be taught to you. Thank you and have a nice day.